the man above me, no be my gutter. But you put it in the kitchen, so my well like a bottle. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you. It on me, 300% free. It on me, garbage my love you day. It on me, give the teacher them pay. It on me, I see corruption please. It on me, mash down the people them out. It on me, every day appear arms out. It on me, appear money them a tea. It on me, and them a sell out the beach. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch a blind and a resort to crime. You can't for me again. Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The urgent the promises done and them not deliver. Cut up the youth and rough and it's down in the river. Them a bold money and they lie them them. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell go mash up people start and people them sell. It on me. What they treat the market man. It on me. What them a treat the cat man. It on me. What they treat the peanut man. It on me. What them a treat the dirt man. It on me. What them a treat the sun man. Global TV send another one. Oh, 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 oh. Global TV, I send them home. Yeah, man, this is Michael Buckley. I tell you, say, yo, the Global TV, yeah, man, me represent that 100%. Play the music, Global. Boom, shell.
Good night and welcome to
Man found a bomb, judgment found.
Thank you all for joining the Global Television Group this evening. To those on the X, on Twitch, to those on the Producer Wayne Global TV, on the Global TV 358 studios. Good evening, welcome. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Judgment. Today we were talking about politics and religion. At that time, I didn't even know what was breaking over London during the weekend with politics and religion. The church and the state. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Good evening to all my subscribers and membership holders. Good evening to my community and all my family members. Good evening to all my moderators. Veteran, big up yourself. Elaine Turner, good evening and welcome. Debbie Jarvis, good evening. Good evening to Patricia Matthews. Good evening, Sunshine. Real sweet. Good evening, Natalia Freeman. Good evening. Good evening, all, and welcome, Patricia Matthews. Good evening, Joan Andrea Wilson. Andrea Joan Hamilton Wilson, rather, sorry. Good evening and welcome. Denise Hall, good evening. Kate M. JP, good evening and welcome. Good evening to Charmaine Flowers, Marcia Gray, Mama Nita, Lennox Reed, Lorna Emery. Good evening all and welcome, Marbury Lloyd, Simone Beckford, Beat and Teach, Wagwan, Sue McDuffie, Joan Sinclair, Seppian Parkin, Norman Ferguson, good evening, good evening. Herbert Tuzelin, good evening and welcome. Nigel Samuels, good evening. Janet Moody, good evening and welcome. Verna Shaw, good evening. Patricia Williams, good evening. JC, good evening, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. True Love, good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. The church platformed a plethora of lies over the weekend. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in Brixton, just down the road from me. I don't know if this is the current pastor, but the most recent pastor I know of was Richard Dye. And then there was the Jackson of Willesden New Testament Church of God. Not Willesden Minister TERRELONGE, it's Willesden. This is becoming more and more disgraceful whenever time our politicians open their mouth. But me now got tell, before we view TERRELONGE at the altar, on the bully pulpit, on the podium, let us look back into some previous's of TERRELONGE. God at my altar. Good evening and welcome.
Foul. On September 30th, 2016, the body of 51-year-old Jermaine Jr. was found with multiple stab wounds and a single gunshot wound to the head in the reception room of attorney Patrick Bailey, who just happened to be a close friend and lawyer of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. A knife, believed to have been the one used to stab Jermaine Jr., was also found beside the body. Patrick Bailey and Jermaine Jr. had an attorney-client relationship for 20 years prior to the murder. Around 1996, Jermaine Jr. was mistakenly shot multiple times by the police in Hope Pastures, St. Andrew, after they received a report that a robbery had occurred in the area. The police believed Jr. matched the description given in the report. Bailey represented Jr. in the lawsuit that was filed and won. That's how they became friends. The facts of the case are that while Jr. was in the United States, he paid his attorney to buy a property for him. When he returned to Jamaica, he discovered that his money was missing and no property. Jr. and Bailey came to an agreement that Jr. would stay in one of Bailey's houses until his money was returned. The house Jr. stayed was a house in the same yard of Bailey's main house at the back. This was not the first time Bailey was accused of stealing clients' money. In 2015, Bailey was arrested on charges of conspiracy to defraud in connection with a land deal that took place in 1996. The police alleged that a property was transferred to another person without the owner's knowledge. In 2022, Bailey was struck off the roll of attorneys eligible to practice in Jamaica for failure to handing over $17,640 to a client. Bailey collected money from a client and held it on trust. When the person requested the money, Bailey made several promises to hand it over, but that was never done. Bailey also represented Andrew Holness in the purchase of land on which his Beverly Hills mansion is built, via a St. Lucia registered company that Andrew set up to purchase the land while he was on a visit to Jamaica, as falsely written on the purchase documents. Documents from the National Land Agency showed that Bailey was the attorney who witnessed the notation at the time the property was being transferred. On the night of the murder, Bailey told the police that he stumbled on the body at 4 a.m. and had not heard anything. Bailey claimed that he was fast asleep when the killing occurred. The police said that there were no signs of forced entry. Police Commissioner Major General Anderson is cousin to Andrew Holness. For some reason, Bailey was immediately ruled out as a suspect. The morning after the murder, Bailey was reported to be unwell, and his doctor, who also happened to be one of Bailey's clients, Jeff the Ford, informed the police that he should be confined to bed and was not fit to give a statement at the time. In 2014, Jeff the Ford was found guilty of corruption after he tried to bribe a police officer to release 2 Surinamese men who were caught with nearly $60 million. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison. It is alleged that the JLP Member of Parliament and attorney ALANDO TERRELONGE who is the legal partner of Bailey, was involved in the murder of Junior. The police reported at the time that men from the Umbrella Gang in Orlando Terrelonge constituency were under investigation for Jermaine Jr.'s murder. Orlando Terrelonge, who is openly gay, is alleged to have been in a sexual relationship with Patrick Bailey. According to Jermaine Jr.'s brother, David Roberts, it makes no sense to seek justice because nothing will come of it. The police damn know who did it. The police have faced public criticisms over their handling of the investigation. The average Jamaican citizen would not get off this case as easy as Bailey has. Corruption permeates the legal system. It will only end when Jamaicans say,
Judgment found a bomber. Judgment found.
Now, the next clip I'm going to play, I want you to listen carefully. The picture that Terrelonge paints of himself and Andrew Holness, the God-fearing, everything they do with God ahead of it. And it is because of their devotion to God. Listen to Orlando Terrelonge carefully. I don't have anything can help me drive over these pastors tonight. But listen carefully. Monica Wills, Sharon Powell, Honodu, Larice Bedford. Listen to the next video carefully of how Orlando Terrelonge paint himself and the Prime Minister and what he attribute. No crime, no that Jamaica people. Or no Jamaica people where Conway Terrelonge let out to no business. How the whole on down there walk. How no walk good money and a books. Una books way out when we they have Rob, Peter, the pay Paul for send Congo. No. Terrelonge let it all out this weekend. Christine Gilbert, them a do better way a Jamaica. Terrelonge says, Angela 48349. Una business let out. Una can't call we again and talk to we. In other vice there. How no sick. How no hungry. How no Terrelonge let it out. Una want good money down there. Hey, you hold on. Why Jamaica people not meet it? May I tell you not meet it. But let's listen to about 10 minutes of gibberish. But it's important because it's on. These words were spoken just yesterday on the Bully Pulpit in Willesden Green or Willesden New Testament Church of God. Those words also were spoken at the Brixton Seventh-day Adventist Church on Saturday. Lady J. Love, the church is platforming faggots, murderers, thieves, and corrupt liars. Hey, church and state. Let's listen to Terrelonge.
Speak to you about our guest speaker after that point. Please welcome Minister Terrelonge to come for us today. Amen. Now, I hate to say the cliche, but he's very young for a minister, isn't he? I'm used to them being big man. That's what they say about men.
I'm sorry to disappoint that I'm not so big, not so old, and I don't have the big belly as well, innit? Thank you, Bishop Jackson. It really is a pleasure to be worshiping with you all here today. You know, the vehicle pulled up outside, and I saw our sisters, they came out to meet us, and then, you know, we could hear the music coming out, and as we got closer, and it was just wonderful to be in the house of the Lord. So God is good, and all the time. Blessed love. Again, thank you so much to Bishop Jackson and to all our congregants here for receiving.
Liar!
Commission and the team at our High Commission here for arranging this visit. You know, they say that as government, sometimes we don't put the Lord first. And I want to say to you all that as a parliamentarian and as a minister of government, that I put the Lord in front of me at all times. And amen. And it is because I have put the Lord in front of me at all times. That is why I believe that I have yielded some success as a parliamentarian. To say that the same is true for our Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. He might not be a New Testament, he might not be Baptist, etc. He is, however, Adventist, which is one of the larger denomination faiths in Jamaica. And he too has certainly stated that before we do anything as a government, before cabinet meetings start, before we start any groundbreaking, whatever we do in Jamaica, we could be opening a school, opening a hospital, it doesn't matter. There is always prayer, recognizing that once God is in the mix, then failure is not ours, because the Lord that I will prosper you and do you no harm. So it is indeed a pleasure to be worshiping with you today. I just got to the UK yesterday from Norway on an international organization. We were doing some purposes in terms of democracy promotion and focusing on the rights of women and girls in particular with 112 countries. And I came to England not only to worship with you, but also for the launch of the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. And for the young ones in the audience, our young queens and young...
Where the blood clot this? Where the blood clot this? But me not give them no chat. Who this? And where the rest it
means the diaspora simply is wherever you have Jamaican family members living abroad. So the diaspora is our extended family living outside of Jamaica. So whether you're in China, England, America, Panama, Canada, you're a part of the diaspora. And what we have been doing as a government over the last 8 years, we have made a concerted effort. We have a national diaspora policy that says that your voice and your input is essential to the growth and development of Jamaica. Led by Andrew Holness, our position is that you belong. So whether it was your grandmother who was born in, where's our young photo? Whether it was your grandparents who were born in St. Elizabeth and they're now here, whether you were born in Clarendon and you moved here years ago, you still belong, every single one of you. And so the Diaspora Conference, we are inviting all of you to come down to Montego Bay June 16th to 19th so that you can learn more about what is happening in Jamaica and more importantly, how you can invest in Jamaica and make some of that good income that you can put down for your children.
I where the blood clot this? Where the blood clot this? But me not give them no chat. Who this?
As well, because we have to plan for the future. And Bishop Jackson, you spoke about, us bringing gifts. Well, I bring the gift of trade and investment. I bring the gift of commerce here today because it takes cash to care. And a developed Jamaica, a Jamaica where everyone has equal opportunity and everyone is living prosperously, it means that less persons are going to be calling you over here in England to say, beg you send the Western Union, beg you send the MoneyGram, beg you send the JN money transfer to me because nothing now go on. I am here to tell you that so many good things are happening in Jamaica.
Hey, now talk to me! Right. Now talk about me for my eyes. You never bring me come here.
Man found a bomber, judgment! Found no.
send remittances back home, it means you have more to contribute for the tithes and offering, which means the church can grow and the welfare program of the church can grow. Yes, yes. So Bishop Jackson, it is also in your interest that Jamaica develops and become the beacon of hope and growth and economic prosperity, because more money coming in for the offering so you can do the Lord's work right here in the UK. Amen, church? So some of the things, just again, while I wrap up, just to let you know briefly, some of the good things happening in Jamaica thus far. We have reduced the national debt significantly.
After much owner.
In our history, the national debt is below 100. Which
You know? You know, black I'm a reacher.
of 139 to now 76. So for every $100 that we earn in Jamaica, we don't owe the foreign people them 139 or 149, which means that we're operating at a deficit. We only owe 76. So we now have more money to do the developmental programs that we want. So when the Prime Minister and the government says we are building more schools, we are building new hospitals, we are fixing the police stations, we are carrying water to St. Elizabeth and Clarendon and Trelawney and Westmoreland, places that never had water or light for decades. We are rebuilding St. Thomas and giving St. Thomas roads and banks and amen, church. Those are the things that my sister says, big highways and byways, amen. That is significant signs of the development. So it makes a difference which government represents your Jamaica, because every single one of you have families and friends living in Jamaica and you still hold Jamaica dear. So a prosperous Jamaica is a win for all of us, whether you live in the UK, in Jamaica, in Canada, or America, wherever. Not only that, but we are putting in programs for the youth, for the young people. So our Heart Training Institute, some of you when you left Jamaica in the 60s or 70s, not only was there double-digit inflation is now single-digit, less than 6%. The unemployment rate is no longer double-digit. In 2015, unemployment rate was between 14 and 16%. Unemployment in Jamaica is now lower than unemployment in the UK. Unemployment in Jamaica is 4%. Can I get an amen? And all of this is happening because we as a government put God first, because we understand that through our prayers and our belief that God is there to prosper Jamaica, because Jamaica people are born for greatness, and we are seeing it playing out in the government policies and in the growing economy. So unemployment is at 4%. What we're doing is we are giving our young people the requisite skills training. So the HARD program that you hear about, that you used to know about, HARD not just training the young girls how to go spread bed in one hotel and how to go sweep floor. HARD not training the young man just only to say, boy, them go and put two little plyboard together and fix up something or fix one corner shop. No, HARD is now training our young people in robotics, in engineering, in ICT, because those are the jobs for the future. That is the Jamaica. So our young people, they have the opportunity to empower themselves for the future. And the global companies, they keep coming to Jamaica. They're opening new businesses. They are investing in the growth and prosperity of Jamaica, which has led to unemployment being reduced and our young people being what we call upskilled, learning new skills for the future. In addition to that, the government, because the economy is growing, the government is now giving young people who are registered in HEART approximately $150 each month to help them with the bus fare and help them with the lunch money. So nobody has any excuse not to go to school to learn a skill, because you're getting help with the bus fare and help with the lunch money as well. If that is not transformational, I don't know what is. So as Jamaica grows, we want to invite you, the diaspora, to invest in Jamaica. It is your time to make Jamaica make your money work for you and not just you sending it down to remittance every week. So come on down to the Diaspora Conference. You will hear the Prime Minister speak. You will hear other government ministers, officials, members from JAMPRO. They will tell you how you can invest in Jamaica, whether you're going to invest in the orchard crops. Everybody know that the Jamaica mango is the best mango in the world. The Jamaica coffee, the Jamaica ackee, the breadfruit, and all those things. The pear, because I know I love my pear too, you know. So you can invest in agriculture. You can invest in the real estate market, which is growing. You know, you have foreigners investing in, all these wonderful. It will cost you far less to buy several apartments in Jamaica than trying to buy a flat, right? If I'm trying to buy a flat even in Brixton, that can be your Airbnb. It can be your vacation home, but it is solid investment. So come on down, June 16th to 19th, spread the word. We want to welcome every single Jamaican back to Jamaica with investment and trade at the top of the discussion. I thank you all and I look forward to the rest of the service. Blessings.
Judgment found a bomber. Judgment found no.
Oh boy. We'll first start fling stone, fling buckle, and grenade. We'll start fling. Labor right people don't pain in the head when them talk. Mister, if when labor right talk, if we don't have pain ahead instantly. All in Foster Lady J Love, Brittany Lyon, Brittany L, Brownman Security, Colleen Jones, Izzy Holder, Rena, Rose, Sonia Ellis, Verna Shaw. Me say, if we don't have pain ahead when Jamaica Labour Party talk, what these churches in London has done, well, let me ask the church member them. No. Have no family at Jamaica where experience the crime, the violence, the hardship, the high food price, the crisis with inflation, Norman Ferguson. So I'm telling you how church people disgusting because they sit down there, John Pugh, and they cheer the lies. Gloria Morris. They sit down there and they cheer and they clap to the lies. Lenworth Steele, these criminals in the church that platformed the blood-stained hand of ALANDO TERRELONGE. Tell the church audience, Mr. TERRELONGE, on the night when Jermaine Jr. was murdered, where were you, ALANDO TERRELONGE? Is it true, ALANDO TERRELONGE, that you got into a jealous fit, thinking that you were going to lose your lover, Patrick Bailey, to Jermaine Jr.? Got into a jealous rage, stabbed him 22 times, ALANDO TERRELONGE. And if that wasn't enough, you then shot him in the head. And to date, ALANDO TERRELONGE, you act as if nothing happened because you and your partner, Patrick Bailey, was able to be protected by a corrupt prime minister, a corrupt investigator of Fitzdaly, and a corrupt director of prosecution. That was what you, the Brixton Seventh-day Adventist Church and the New Testament Church of God in Willesden, platformed to tell many lies on your bully pulpit. But not once have they spoken about the hardship Jamaicans are going through. Not once have they spoken about our depleted health care. Not once have they spoken about corrupt politicians and corrupt law enforcers. Done it. Good evening and welcome. The mirror, the picture they paint you, only they can see it when they stand in the mirror. Because the average Jamaican cannot feel it. The part that hurt me the most, Sharon, what made me nearly climb wall backwards, is when Orlando TERRELONGE stood on the pulpit and him begged for him and him investor friend them, him begged for the church. Orlando TERRELONGE then told you, "Uno soon don't have to say nothing to the family at home," because all of them are working. They are doing fine. They're working big money. Orlando TERRELONGE goes further by inviting we up yasso to come work for 15,000 Beverly Edwards dollars per week. The lies and the insult that took place on those two podiums over the weekend. But the church is happy about it. Why? Because when special guests that church, Hungry Belly Mercy and Hungry Belly Master will take out them last penny and put in an offering plate because they want to impress the visitors. Our visiting politician, bloodstained hands, politician. The church and the state, there's no separation between them. At the church start criminality in a slavery. At the church, with the head of the royal family and the Pope sanctioned slavery. At the church done all of the land stealing and land holding in slavery to date. Under the heading of the crown. That same wicked church try get an Adventist envelope and see how much different markup depend it. Tithe, offering, woman ministry, special this, special that, special this. The amount the Adventist church swindle out of their members and is saturated. They have an envelope. Your tithe is compulsory. You should know that. But beyond the tithes and the freely gift offering, they also have a whole other list of things and the envelope that you can freely give to a whole lot of different ministries, and this women ministry, men ministry, that ministry. There's a whole lot of swindling that goes on in the people's pocket. Don't mind the Sunday they want them when them a collect offering, especially the prosperity gospel. JamaicanTV.com. The things that these people are doing to your mindset, Jamaicans, are nothing we're mad when we talk. We think we're nothing we're blasphemous when we talk. When we talk, so the church is a rotten business. When we talk, so the church is here to play on your ignorance. The church is here to play on your sleeping spirit. And you have these homosexual, pedophile, sex predator pastors, black and white men who run to the church to cover up them disgrace, who run to the church to get a place on the pulpit because they know it's a cash cow up there. When I make we go open one church, no? And that's all the money there. If you don't ever want money, quick money, go open a church. You just need to recite the regular verses from the Bible. Sing, jump, and make nice. Money there. And when black people are going to wake up, even facing. And when them are going to wake up to the tyranny of the church. When will black people wake up to the tyranny of government and state? Everybody just come and milk on us up. You heard nothing from these people with them diaspora jump around on a rent house. Diaspora. The logo won't fight over. Tenement yard. Me case I move out of the people them house. The people them get them title. You can't claim squatters' rights anymore in the Global Jamaican Diaspora Council. The people them get them title. Maxine Cummins. They go no cease and desist and discharge letter. Me case Tamisha Ellis and come out of the people them tenement yard. On a thief and criminal. On operate in the name of the Diaspora NLC for 20 years now, unregistered. How much money have you swindled under that banner? How much money laundering have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the undocumented Global Diaspora Council swindled out of the United States, Canada, and the UK over the last 20 years? Can you provide accountability for your financial records over the last 20 years? You unregistered thieves. Because you don't want to operate under the shadow in a fancy name attached to the Jamaica, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade website, soliciting money from donors, Yvonne Bradford in the diaspora, unregistered, 20 years. And now when I come have hissy fit over something we don't own, something we don't have legal rights to. What are your legal basis? What will be your legal basis of any lawsuit that you hope to launch? What will be your legal basis? Anybody can go and register an entity, a company, a trademark, or anything that is not already trademark. Explain to the people who you represent those official operation and membership and election. You see, so now thief and criminals. That's why the church can platform bloodstained hand, ALANDO TERRELONGE, who should be in prison for murder. But yet he's at the heart of government, diaspora affair. And what you want to do, TERRELONGE, come stab with 22 times, like you stabbed Jermaine Jr., then turn around, shot with in the head when you think your stabs wasn't enough. Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, ALANDO TERRELONGE, Audrey Patterson, good evening and welcome. Global Television will take a short break and we will join you back in a jiffy. Don't move a muscle. Thank you very much and welcome back. Today, when we was looking at Black people church, Black people religion and politics, you heard for yourself Bev Franz-Bergen, when she and her white husband go on holiday and on a cheap holiday, Reverend Franz-Bergen go on. And Reverend Franz-Bergen, I tell you, say, when God tell she to tell uno say, him offering the money, wanna take and pay on a furniture bill. Him a watch uno. But why not you, the church member, ask Reverend Franz-Bergen for an accountability for God money, and not just Reverend Franz-Bergen. All of these pastors will collect money 3 times on Saturdays, 3 times on Sunday, and 3 times for the week. Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. Them living at the people, them pocket night and day. Do you know how rich the Seventh-day Adventist Church is? The Seventh-day Adventist organization is a multi-millionaire organization. But yet every Saturday, globally, these people hold down people and take millions from them. Because you have to pay your 10%. Otherwise, they make guilt kill you. If you don't pay your 10%, if you don't pay your religious tax, to make sure, say, those Jezebel and predators of past that call themselves pastors, priests, prophetess, man or woman of God, they're all sex predators and Jezebels and whores and harlots. That's what they are. And it is why they can foster that relationship with politicians. Because the whole of them hold you at the altar of spiritual and psychological contempt. The whole of them prey upon your ignorance. The whole of them prey upon your lack of knowledge. Because your ignorance keeps them in power. Your ignorance is economic viability for them. Because you have to sit down You have to work and put money in a them pocket while all they do is sit down there and tell you a bag of lies while committing crime against you, while at the same time stealing from you. And rather than providing you jobs, they provide you drugs to go and get high. And they provide you weapons and lots of ammunition to go and kill each other. Economically, it served them and their master. When is Black people going to wake up out of this tribal, narcissistic behavior of die-hard politics and die-hard religion? It is why every other nation is advancing ahead of Black people. It is why every other culture that came, particularly in England here, that came after Black people, who came to rebuild this Britain after war-torn Second World War. Every other culture has come and passed up Black people economically. Because all those other cultures use their money to partnership and buy economic strength in whatever country they are. Black people's money, by and large, end up in the churches every weekend. Black people don't see the need for economic advancement to pool their money together and create employment for their own young people who are on the street murdering each other or selling or trafficking drugs. But yet, week after week, we see these same very people plunge more and more money into the churches with the hope, Millicent Jones, nifty friends, that God somewhere, someday, somehow is going to deliver us, all of us, out of this bandage. Lelia, right? Good evening. Somehow, someday, God is going to deliver us, Navlet Blake, out of this bondage. Sit down and wait until we, the people, rises to the occasion. We are going to be in a swelter of criminal politicians and wicked religious leaders and criminal business leaders, all of those who prey on our ignorance as well as our silence. Wake up, Black people. Religion and politics globally is our problem. We need to come up with our own spiritual ideology, our own political ideology, our own economic ideology. There is no way that we're going to go forward in this system, especially when you're working into a fester pool of corrupt politicians. We cannot operate or clean up Jamaica inside this system. We, the people, have to design a system outside of this current status quo that involves, that exists rather. This, which exists at the moment, does not work for us, the people, the majority, the 99%. It is not working for us. And it's never going to work for us until we change it. Because the way it is at the moment, it works for those in the criminal hierarchy of the religious, political, and business community. We can't continue like this. we are subjecting another generation to failure when we turn a blind eye to the church and the criminality of politics and the involvement of church and politics. Wake up, people. We haven't got much time. By the time we get to 2030, whole heap of we are in a global prison. And it won't be temporary. This time it will be permanent. Start planning your exit. Those of us in the West. Andrea Lee, we haven't got much time. Gonna sit down lousy like everything sweet and dandy. Fire down must steal. That's the position we're in globally. Audrey Patterson. The position we're in globally, we're in a fire down must steal. But a lot of us are not aware of where it is going and where we are and how we, in this grapple for new ideas and power in this world. Let me tell you something. Watch where this thing going. You notice the countries, them America, going around the world picking war with. Remember, since Biden come in, Biden start a war with Russia, an influential BRICS member. Biden is also in a war with Iran, something where America bait for a long time. Them finally provoke till them get it now. Another influential BRICS member. While at the same time, America is provoking China, using the Philippines and the Japanese, with the Australian mustering up themselves to take on China. America knows its economy is falling. The more the BRICS economy rises, is the more the American economy shrinks. Oh, yes, it is. The more the American economy shrink. What you see America is doing now, it's an economic warfare, all in open, because it cannot, for America, with the invention and rise of BRICS, economic sanction in the way we used to it does not work anymore. So what America's intention is in breaking the back of economy is starting a war with them, because war costs a lot. While at the same time, when America sparked all these wars all over the place, that sent the whole military-industrial complex across the United States, EM, in overdrive. So that's Georgia Lynch, a boost for the American economy, while you're also crushing those other economy at the same time. It's the hegemonic mindset of America. There's no other power, economically or military, that must exist in the world except for me. And that is the rant. And if you notice, they has pulled Jamaica in because they want to go into Haiti, because they want to make sure the iridium and all the other precious materials are there is controlled by the Americans. They do not want Haiti to have any relationship with China and Russia. So America joined Africa and Jamaica for a distraction, while them having people at the geographical survey and I make sure say the wars are pushed away from the areas that they need to do their mining. So you keep the war in the city while we get to do a geographical survey across the country. And while war are going in a city down there, so we can up in a hills and mountain there, so a mine. And nobody knows what's going on. But you're always been told America is a country founded on the principle of God. Just like how them tell you in England, yeah, God save the criminal queen, or God save the criminal king up Camilla III. Wake up to the church, black people. It was never here to do you any good. The church was always on the bandwagon of the declared war against black people, their land, and their resources. That war continues. The face and the strategies. Sharon, Bernard, how are you? The faces and the strategies may have changed over time. Just like we have moved from chattel slavery to colonization to so-called independence to neo-colonization, corporate ruled. It's the same way the religious face has changed over time to make you think religion was all about you. But go and read your history. You were never allowed to touch the Bible if another white pastor tell you what you feel believe in a slavery, or them chain them black pastor, one of the house slave, to make sure the indoctrination campaign, Rodney Reed, continues. The church was always a major part of the crime committed against black people in the enslavement, the 500 years of enslavement. The church, from Catholicism till King Henry branch away to Protestant, the Anglicans or whatever they call them. Then the Anglican break out into many different branches, Methodists, Baptists, and from Baptists, which a lot of those in the Seventh-day Adventist Church are not aware. Abina Sarkodie, how are you? The Adventist Church was born out of the Baptist Church when Ellen G. White and her husband, James Bates, I think, have disagreement within the Anglican Church. As a come liar, wicked Ellen G. White go form the Seventh-day Adventist organization, Jeanette Riley. And then she start write book and talk about vision and dreams and all sort of thing where the wicked liar woman have. But you Adventist people, ask yourself, the Baptist church, unlike any other, was a church that was standing up to enslavement and oppression. Ask yourself why Ellen G. White broke away from the Baptist organization and then go and form the Seventh-day Adventist Church organization and start prophesying a whole lot of bullshit, just like any of these man or woman of God. God in bed and yam later night, God in bed, and then have nightmare and get up and enforce their nightmare upon us in the morning in the name of God speaking to them. And by that they claim themselves as messengers, healers, prophet and prophetess, and all sorts of bullshit. Head teacher, good evening and welcome. How are you doing? This is the prosecution where we have to go through with church and state. You saw them, you saw Alanda Terrelonge on the pulpit telling countless amount of lies. And you see him beg for him and the church. And then him turn around and tell you how well Jamaicans are doing. Employment rate in Jamaica is lower than it is in England. Jamaicans are work money. When you soon don't get no call from them, then soon have to bad down again. For nothing. Because them are work good. And then you have these church members who have relatives in Jamaica who are going through all of these horrible stories. Sit down and is cheering to the lies in the house of God. But why wouldn't they? Don't they cheers to the lies of the pastors every Saturdays and Sundays? Lies is common to religious people. It is natural to them. They hear it on a regular basis. Weekly, they flurry in just to be lied to. And not just that, to make sure they pay well for that lies. When I make we go open church, is the get rich quick scheme. Andrea Daly. Let us join the get rich quick scheme, because that is all the church is about. Remind me the last time you hear any of these churches, Audrey Patterson. Remind me the last time you hear any of these churches speak out against corruption, the wanton crime across the country, the broken promises of politicians. When you notice the church blind, deaf, and dumb, if I not beg, them a beg or tell lie, the church not say nothing. All of you prophetess, only where God only talk to at night. Only where God know the news carrier them. Let me tell you something. Me know nothing with no God. When no God put their mix up and carry news and so. Half the time, the news them where God cat uno and fi put uno church member against each other. Half the time, the news where God cat uno and own church member them business. Me know no God. When no God too wicked and too lie. When no God will tell us say, can't no money go give wicked and deficient to no pick them on a household. Me not in no God. Me do in no God. God never shown no yet how Pastor Hall pick their own pulpit, how Pastor pray upon every young girl in a church. God not show no them something there. God show no on other church member them where prosper. Other family member where prosper. Other community members where prosper. And them mix up something that God talk to them about. You ever hear God talk to none of these people about anything constructive? It's always about some news carrying and some lie and story. Nyam before I go to bed at night time, man. When I go to bed too miserable. When I go to bed, go throw yourself from pillar to pole because you're not so greedy and not too much over full. Some on the belly can't full. So all if you can put up if till tomorrow. All if you can put up it till tomorrow, we not go stuff on a belly guard bed just in case somebody else might get a share for it. You go remind on a wicked bev. Because God love the mix up. You're sure how God love mix up.
I know those who forget to pray and say, Lord, tomorrow I will pray. And God said to tell you those who take the tithe money and pay them in the furniture bill.
You hear how they jump out and get in a spirit glory? Because God tell Bev, said those of honor who take on him tithe and a pay furniture bill, him a watch you. Brainwashing is a crime. It is only because it's not on the legislative books. But brainwashing is a crime. Because what these preachers are doing to people, it is a crime. How did we get here? It's not really the question. How are we going to get ourselves out of it? Is the question that all of us need to answer. Because let me tell you something. This occultism under the name of religion, across denomination, not just the revival them or the Church of God them. Remember, as I said to you earlier today, Jamaica took the occultism to a level we've never seen it before, where congregants, hey Jesus, black people damage, freely joined the ark with passport just in white, knelt readily to have their throat slashed because they believe that the man slashing their throat have the power to bring life back to them. Never mind that her insurance was signed over into the throat slasher's name prior to the throat slashing. Everything in Jamaica is a movie. The Jamaica we know cannot be described as a reality. If you don't know Jamaica and how the system of Jamaica operates, one explaining Jamaica to you, you would think they're explaining a film. But it is the people of Jamaica's reality. Thank you very much for being here with us on Global Television tonight. If you have joined late, please rewatch the live. Before you exit, please also do make sure you like the live. It is a way to support the platform. Thank you very much for your continuous support. I am really drained by the abuse that we continue to take from politicians and religion. I'm really, really, really drained by it because it is becoming more and more depressing when you look at how Jamaicans are complacent to it and is willing to accept the lies. Oh my God, it is depressing. But thank you very much for your continuous support. And thanks to all of you who continue to buy your membership on Global Television. Elaine Turner, Debbie Jervis, Sandra Ellis, Noel Williams, Tash, Brenda. Thank you all for your support through your membership purchase. I really, really appreciate your support. Thank you all very much, and we will see you tomorrow. Good night from Global Television Group.